I like independent a little bit more just because it's a little bit more freedom, much more variety of customers, I would say, because really on the franchise level, it's just a lot of you get specific clients there. There's a specific brand and whatnot, so there's certain clients that will only dig a certain brand and whatnot, and you'll get a lot more of those kind of vehicles. So that's what I'd say. I think independent's a little bit better.
Yeah, it's positive that franchise brings, like being a part of the manufacturer. I mean, that's a big deal.
Well, I would say I think what I like the most is just getting to know the vehicles a lot better. You just get to experience every single feature that a vehicle could possibly have.
Product knowledge is crazy, right?
Yeah, so you don't just meet one and you say, okay, this is all that's to it, but you get to meet every single freaking thing about the vehicle. So you get to meet, the most luxurious vehicle that they have down to the most base model vehicle. The payments are a lot lower when you're leasing too, so you don't have to really worry about, getting negative equity on the vehicle or anything like that, because you're always going to be in a, good position. You don't ever have to worry about being in a bad position or whatnot. And obviously, leasing isn't for everybody.
Welcome everybody to MotorCast, your favorite automotive podcast, coming to you from Jonesboro, Georgia, taking over the world.
Perfect. That's perfect. What's up, bro?
What's up, baby? How are you?
Oh, good.
I like recording during business hours.
Why?
It's better than Sundays, bro.
The thing that I like better is that we have more access to people. So there's a lot of, like, that on our previous episode, we just told Cece like 20 minutes before.
Yeah.
And she was, let's do it.
I like it because it just feel like there's stuff happening, like the energy is there, like I've already been going there. Like sometimes for Sundays, the first time I'm speaking is when I'm speaking to you. Like I haven't said a one word out of my mouth until I'm seeing you. So it seems like I'm just kind of already flowing, you know what I mean?
The only thing that I think that eventually we're gonna need is like our own studio, because I barely hear you, bro.
Oh yeah.
People is actually listening all the things that we're saying, because of course we have mics.
Yeah.
But that's one thing that I think we're gonna get into that level very soon.
Studio. Earl, if you're listening, studio. I'm just kidding.
So what's up? What's the episode for today?
All right, today we're gonna bring on a freaking beast mode. Omar is gonna be on the show. Omar is a sales rep with us. I met Omar probably. Omar, how long ago I met you? Like 8 years ago I met you? Probably like 8 years ago I met Omar.
Is it safe to say that when you met him, he was a little kid?
He was a little baby.
Developed?
Yeah, he's grown a little bit. He's a little bit taller now. He's a gangster now. But I met him through his dad. His dad used to be a really good client. It still is a really good client for us. Arturo, they might have seen him in a past episode. And his dad would come by trucks, and Omar was sometimes there with him. And that's how we met Omar. And then I got to see Omar again when we moved to Jonesboro. He was working at the Quick Trip down the street where we get all of our fuel from. And somehow, some way, we got to talking. He wanted to be at a dealership, which brings us into our episode for today. We're going to be talking about the difference between working with a franchise dealership and an independent dealership, and for a salesperson. And the reason we chose Omar is he's not been at one, but he's been at two franchise dealerships, and not just like any whatever franchise, like pretty good franchise dealerships. And then he has the opportunity to work at the best independent in the game. So I feel like he knows the positives, the negatives, the cool things, the things that could be better. And I just feel like he's the best person to kind of tell the differences between the two types of stores.
Mm-hmm. That's cool. So a little bit of context about Omar. What do you have other than the thing that you met?
Oh, Omar knows trucks probably better than most salespeople. He is a Ram Cummins fan. He actually has a super nice truck. Maybe if we can take a picture of it and drop it, like the icon, if he's cool with that. He has a super nice, clean truck. I really like it a lot. He's just all around good guy and hustler. Good guy and hustler. Like
that's one thing that I always noticed. When Omar came into a picture here in Jonesboro, I just saw that he was just a random kid, very young. But as soon as he came in, he started selling like popcorn.
Selling like hotcakes.
Yeah. So
nobody says selling like popcorn, bro. Selling like hotcakes.
I say it in Spanish, bro. I just translate some stuff. So let's welcome Omar. Come on, Omar.
Come on, Omar.
Stand up, bro. You gotta be.
Come on, Omar. Just come in. Turn his mic on. Let me get my phone. Thank you.
There you go.
All right, welcome to the podcast, Omar. So Omar's first time. Yeah, give it up for Omar. Welcome, Omar. Tell them a little bit about yourself, baby.
Well, 22 years old. I've been doing sales for I'd say about 3 years now, creeping up on 3 now.
Okay.
I really like cars. I really do enjoy being around them. I like people too. I mean, this has probably been I'd say second job. I'd say I did quit it for a little bit, which was cool. A retail, more like straight retail job.
Yeah.
Now obviously it's more kind of like sales. I mean, yeah, I think I've had a good bit of experiences in other places too. So, I mean, I really like what I found around here. I was born and raised in Georgia too, so
Very
I've
cool.
been here all my life pretty much. Haven't really moved around or anything like that. I don't know if that's a good thing or bad thing, but
That's a good thing.
yeah, I would say so. But yeah, I really like it here. Enjoy what we got going on here, and hopefully we could grow it up a little bit more.
Yeah, absolutely. So, Omar, we decided to bring you on, obviously, because I think you probably know the difference better than all of us, right? Especially on the sales side, between an independent and a franchise dealership, right? So, right after Quick Trip, you were at Hennessy GMC or
Yeah.
Mazda?
Yeah. Hennessy, Mazda, Buick, GMC.
Oh, Hennessy, Mazda, Buick, GMC, which they're our neighbors. And then you've been here, and then you also were at Hayes Ram, right? Hayes, or
Yeah.
was it a CDJR store?
Yeah.
Chrysler,
So,
Jeep, Dodge, Ram.
When you throw facts like that, bro, I'm confused. CD what?
CDJR, Chrysler, Jeep, Dodge, Ram.
Okay.
And then so I'm super excited to get into it. But before we jump into the meat and potatoes of it, Omar, you're a smart dude, young dude. You could do anything. Why are you doing sales?
more than
I
anything.
think it's amazing, but I think most people think it's kind of like cringy, you know?
Yeah, I mean, more than anything, I guess I kind of got, I would say, inspired by my father. He, like I was saying, how you were saying, I'm sorry, he's bought a lot of vehicles from us, and he used to actually flip those. Like he wouldn't keep them. He would still buy them and he would flip them. I would kind of like what he did. I mean, like just buying them, fixing them up, doing some work on it here and there, and then just selling them for a profit. So that was kind of what I guess I kind of liked what he was doing there, and I just kind of got dragged into it. I guess kind of just pulled into it.
It was like, yo, help me with this. Come pick up this vehicle.
Yeah.
I'll probably with some dad shit that turned into a business, right?
Yeah. I mean, I guess mainly for him, but yeah, I would just help him out and stuff like that. And I just kind of, just caught on to it, and I started, I would look at vehicles all the time. I just started getting the hang of what the market does and stuff like that. So, and that's kind of, influenced me with a lot of things that I do today. So.
I love that, man. So were we ready to jump into it? All right, let's jump into it. So combined, right? Not taking just one or the other, but combined, how long have you worked with a franchise and how long have you worked with an independent?
Not long. I'd say not too long at franchise. I'd probably say, you saying altogether?
Yeah, altogether.
Oh, I got you. So yeah, altogether probably about 3 years now.
3 years. So how long at a franchise versus how long at an independent?
So at a franchise, I'd probably say like, about 5 months or so, not too long, maybe 6.
6 months, right? Because you did, 3 or 4 months at Hennessy, and then you did, 3 months at Hayes?
Yeah, just about. Yeah,
Yeah,
so I'd say
so
maybe like around
about a
5,
half
6
year,
months, something like that.
And then how long in an independent?
That'd be most of it. So maybe like about
2 years,
2
2 years and a half.
So, yeah, give and take.
Very cool. So right off the rip, which one is better?
I would say I just really like I like independent a little bit more, just because it's a little bit more freedom, and whatnot. That's really where I'd say independent has me at. It's just a little bit more freedom. There's a much more variety of customers, I would say, because really on the franchise level, it's just a lot of, you get specific clients there. There's a specific brand and whatnot, so there's certain clients that will only, dig a certain brand and whatnot, and you'll get a lot more of those kind of vehicles. So that's what I'd say. I think independent's a little bit better.
Yeah. So what do you? Because like, you know, it's unfortunate that I've never been a part of a franchise, but that's like, you might know this, that's like my dream, is to be a franchise, right? And that's really what I'm always trying to tailor Motorvation around, like all the positives and maybe not. I don't want to say none of the negatives, but none of the stuff that maybe I don't like about it. So like, when you say freedom, what do you mean by that? Like, why do you have more freedom here than there?
There's just a little bit more. I'd say a little bit more.
Is it freedom of selling or freedom of in the actual dealership as an employee?
I'd say more freedom in the actual dealership. I'd say franchise a little bit more strict with stuff, how things have to be done, just because they're representing, at the end of the day, they are representing a manufacturer, so they've been around for a while. They want stuff done certain ways, and you just kind of got to meet their expectations that they want the client to feel whenever they're buying a vehicle. So, like when I was at Hennessy, there were certain buildings that you could only sell a vehicle at. So, let's say if you were buying a Mazda, then you can only sell that vehicle inside that Mazda building. You can't sell it in the used car building. You can't sell it in the Jeep.
So like, let's say you were in the used car building and somebody wanted to buy a Mazda. Could you walk over to Mazda, or you had to turn it over to somebody else?
No, you'd have to walk over there and sell
wow.
the vehicle. So, and you'd have to pretty much do the paperwork and everything there and work the deal there. So, yeah, just because it's a it's a Mazda, since they're buying a Mazda, they have to be in the Mazda dealership and get the Mazda experience in there. So they'd have to be all around the Mazda stuff, pretty much, yeah. And that was only on new vehicles, obviously. It wasn't like on a used vehicle or anything like that. But a brand new Mazda had to be so in the Mazda building.
I feel that. What do you? Because I do like franchise. What do you like about franchises? Like, what are some of the positives that franchise brings? Like being a part of a manufacturer. I mean, that's a big deal.
Yeah. Well, I would say I think what I like the most is just, just getting to know the vehicles a lot better. You just get to experience every single feature that a vehicle could possibly have.
Product knowledge is crazy, right?
Yeah, so you don't just meet one and you say, okay, this is all that's to it, but you get to meet every single freaking thing about the vehicle. So you get to meet, the most luxurious vehicle that they have, down to the most base model vehicle they have, and what engines they all offer. And obviously, you can learn that not just there, but you just get to get a little bit more of that stuff and process it. Like I said, you get a little bit more incentive and stuff like that whenever you do sell, a new vehicle, because the manufacturer compensates you for that too. So
tell me about that. How does that work? So like the dealership pays you and the manufacturer pays you?
Yeah. So sometimes the manufacturer would kind of throw in, maybe like a couple bucks for, selling that specific vehicle. Maybe like a bonus or whatnot at the end of the month. I've heard that certain manufacturers do it like on a card or whatnot. They give you
it's like a spend card.
Like a prepaid card, yeah, and they put money on there for you, and you can buy certain stuff for like I think General Motors would do they had like a little store where you would buy watches and whatnot and stuff like that once you stacked up like a couple bucks on there and whatnot. So,
Continue.
But yeah, it was that's one thing, and yeah, I'd say just all around getting to know the vehicles a lot better and getting.
And I guess it's cool the fact that some of the vehicles you have access to are brand new.
Yeah,
you never have to worry about anything being wrong with them, right?
Yeah, sometimes there might be one or two things wrong, but
what?
It is a new vehicle,
Probably just cosmetic, right?
Yeah, maybe just cosmetic, but sometimes maybe there's times where there has been maybe some engine stuff going on and whatnot, because even though it is a new vehicle, stuff does happen.
Yeah, true that.
It's not perfect. Kind of like our buddy Louis said, it's not made by the hand of God, but made by the hand of man. So anything can happen to any vehicle, really.
So what happens, because that my department is marketing, so with handling the leads and different stuff. In regards of leads per se, how is the franchise compared to the independent? Because I know that in some points in independence you have to create your own leads. How is it? How is that different?
Yeah, so I guess what I'd say in franchise is just a little bit, you don't really get a whole bunch of, or in my experiences anyway, I can't say for everybody else, but from what I've seen, is just a little bit more strict on the leads too side. Just being brand new in there, you're not just going to come into a whole bunch of opportunities and whatnot. You kind of have to earn them, and I guess you'd say earn your stripes a little bit more.
And how do you earn those stripes?
Just showing that you can take on a good bit of clients, and showing them that you can at the end of the day, you know, deliver.
And how do you collect the clients then?
So more than anything, I mean, you're kind of stuck sitting outside a couple of days, just waiting for somebody to pretty much pull up in the parking lot.
What if it's hot outside?
Well, I mean, you could definitely stay inside and, you know, watch for somebody to come out. But yeah, I mean, it's been instances where you do, you know, just sit inside because, you know, usually for the most part there's big windows and whatnot. Obviously not here, but there's usually big windows and whatnot, and you'll watch somebody pull up, you'll run outside and see that they're looking to buy. So sometimes, or for the most part, that's what I've had to experience, you know, just waiting outside or
But in
inside.
your perspective, you also have to create your own leads?
Yeah,
or just
I mean,
rely on walk-ins?
no, I mean, you could create your own leads, same, you know, just as far as like maybe marketing and whatnot on social media and all that good stuff. Maybe going down through lists and, you know, previous customers or service customers that have been there and, you know, calling them up, seeing if they can maybe, if they're interested in a vehicle or if they're looking to get rid of their vehicle or, you know, maybe they're just not as in love with the vehicle as they were at some point. So that's maybe where a new client could be born. But for the most part, I'd say, you know, a lot of people are just stuck outside waiting for somebody to come in and be serious about
That sucks, bro.
buying a vehicle. Yeah.
So how long is it gonna take for you to start collecting or getting leads from the actual dealership? Or
So
it all depends on you?
yeah, it really just depends on you. I'd say, you know, it just depends on what kind of effort you put into it, and if, you know, if they feel like that you're doing good, and, you know, maybe sometimes you just know somebody in the dealership and they're able to, you know, hook you up with maybe some leads and whatnot. But for the most part, yeah, it's just depending on you and see how well you do with those leads that you do get, or what you do get, and or, you know, what comes in. I mean, because obviously, I mean, if every single person that walks in front of you close them, then obviously they're gonna be giving you some leads. But yeah, that's kind of just how it goes. They're just to see on how the performance goes and whatnot.
And as a general question, of course, it's gonna be good and bad. But do you think it's easier to sell a used car or a new car?
I would say I mean,
Or depending the brand, or what do you think?
I would say it's a little bit easier to sell a used car, just because it's, I mean, it's just, how would I put it? I would just say it's a little bit, well, actually, I want to take that back. I'd say it's a new car. It's a new car.
I was gonna say I think it's easier to sell a used car, and I feel like
What
with
do
a
you
new.
think that?
Why do you think that?
I think it's
Because
easier
you're
to
a
sell a
salesman.
used car because on a new car, everybody has one, right? It's you could have this same new car at this dealership, at that dealership, at that dealership, and for me, it's unless somebody is bringing a ton of value, you're going with the best deal. On a used car, there is just not another one like it with this color, maybe in this condition, with this miles, with this history, right? Like if you have the two same used vehicles, right, they're going to be completely different no matter what. You know, one of them is going to be a one owner, and let's say they're both one owners, but how were they handled in the last 10,000, 20,000, 100,000 miles?
Let me give you my opinion, and I'm not a salesperson in a dealership. So based on what I know from Motorvation and the knowledge that I gather from Charlie Spradlin, from our friend, which is he is a general manager of Honda and Chevy. So the good thing, and for me that's easier, you have warranties, you have oil changes free, and also you can put whatever package you want on the vehicle. On the used portion, you cannot have that. You get what you get. So for me, in my ignorance, it's easier to sell a new vehicle. So what do you think?
Well, actually, I think now that I think about it a little bit more, I'd say, like, just on I mean, obviously, maybe if it's like a walk-in or something like that, it may be a little bit easier to, you know, maybe sell them a new car just because you have, well, not just one, but you have rows of, you know, the same
unlimited,
vehicle.
Right? Unlimited.
So you're like, okay, I mean, if you don't like this one, we got this other one right over here.
And if you don't want this color, I got this color.
But if it's like a customer that's maybe like looking online and stuff, and they're, you know, looking for the exact right vehicle, then I mean, I'd say a used car, because once he comes in contact with you, I mean, it's not like, yeah, I mean, it's not like there's another one right down the road or anything like that. You gotta maybe
50 miles.
Or maybe go down 20 different states to try and find that exact
and even
same
if there's
vehicle.
one down the street, it's totally different. It's just not the same. Even if it's the same color, even if it's the same miles, It's just totally
Just that
different.
Carfax is gonna be different.
Well, not even the Carfax. Let's say the Carfax is the same. How I drive my car versus how you drive your car versus how you drive your car, and the way we all take care of our cars, totally 3 different cars. Let's say we all got brand new cars at 10,000 miles. Probably the only person's vehicle I would want to buy is Omar's.
Yeah.
I definitely don't want your car. I definitely don't want my car.
I was gonna say, if you wanna buy a vehicle that Rahim drove, don't do
buy
it.
that.
Don't do it.
Don't buy it, bro. You know, maybe he parks in a garage. Maybe you park outside. Maybe I park it outside. You
No,
know
I
what I
don't.
mean?
Know what I mean?
I'm just saying, right? But it's totally different. Or like, let's say I live on the bottom of a hill, and every time it rains, my shit is friggin' the water is up to the frame, right? It's
What if it came from north, up
yeah,
north?
you know,
It's gonna be terrible.
It's totally different cars. But I will say the one thing that I do like about new cars, like if I was a salesperson at a new car dealership, I would like the fact that you have the opportunity to lease, right? Because like, let's say like this used car, no matter how you split it up, is gonna be, depending on the car, like $500 a month. No matter how you split it up, right? If you got great credit, of course it'll be a little bit better. You could put more money down, things like that. But on a new car, you have the option to lease it, and the payment could be potentially half of what it is if you're buying it, right? Like, I think that's pretty cool.
How do you sell? How in a new vehicle? How do you sell the difference between actually selling the vehicle or leasing that vehicle? Did you have that opportunity?
So I really haven't got there. Obviously, I mean, leasing isn't super popular anymore like it used to be. I would say that. So a lot of people don't come in. Not a whole lot of people come in doing this. So I probably didn't. I don't think I did get a chance to do that, but I do have a good concept of what it is. And I think it really just comes down to, you know, what do you want out of a vehicle? If you plan on keeping it, you know, 10 years or whatnot, or, you know, as long as it keeps going, I'd say probably, you know, owning the vehicle would be better. But if you're just looking to maybe, you know, be switching out of vehicles and whatnot, every so forth, you know, keeping the latest model, and, you know, your payments are a lot lower when you're leasing too, so you don't have to really worry about, you know, getting negative equity on the vehicle or anything like that, because you're always going to be in a, you know, good position. You don't ever have to worry about being in a bad position or whatnot. And obviously, I mean, leasing isn't for everybody, because if you're driving a lot, then it just doesn't work. Like if it was Daniel, I mean, it just wouldn't work.
It's Daniel, it just wouldn't work. But that's a lot. I mean, that's a lot of good info, man. Do you have any more questions for Omar?
I mean, yeah, I just want to know, what do you decide? Used or new? Independent or new or franchise?
I would say independent. Like I said, it's just a they're pretty. I mean, they're both the same thing at the end of the day. They really are. There is certain things that, you know, might fit you better than somebody else, but you know, like I said, used has just it's given me a little bit of a better taste to me. It definitely it's a little bit more, like I said, more freedom, really, in my opinion, just being able to get, you know, a lot more opportunities. You know, you're not stuck with having to do, you know, you kind of get to do your own groove. I mean, if something works for you, then you can do it. Obviously, I mean, there's certain things that we can't do, like maybe like just not stupid stuff, but, you know, for the most part, everything's, you know, you do what works best for you, and if it keeps working, and, you know, keep going that route. And you know, in franchise, it's just a little bit more of, you know, strict rules that you have to do it this way. If not, then, you know, it becomes an issue.
If Omar, if like you know, I want this to be like a franchise. You picked Independent, but if we could bring one trait or one feature from the franchise world to our world, what would that be?
I would just say, you know, well, really, I'd say having a lot more variety of that same kind of vehicle. I think that would help a lot. Just because there is a lot of instances where, you know, you just don't have that same exact vehicle here, not the same exact vehicle, but a similar vehicle that'll have those same stuff that vehicle has. And obviously, I mean, it's kind of impossible to do that, just because, like you were saying, I mean, a used car is just unique in its own way. But maybe maybe a handful of
20 F-150s.
Yeah, 20 F-150s, similar years, similar years.
Similar trims.
Or 20 Chevy Silverados and, you know, 20 Kia Sorrentos or whatever it is. That would just really help out, because a lot of times whenever, you know, at the end of the day, as much inventory as we have, there's certain instances where it just isn't they're just not the same vehicle in another truck. I mean, in another vehicle. Every single one is.
Because we'll have like right now, we'll have like freaking 20 F250s, and they're all different.
Yeah, every single one is gonna have.
Every single one is totally different.
Yeah, so that's just a downside, I would say, because yeah, like I said, and then especially like I said with walk-ins, whenever they come in, they're looking at this one, but for whatever reason it didn't work out because it's maybe like you were saying, it's got a little bit of a blemish here and there, and they want a pretty similar one to that. Well, I got another one right here that'll fit what you're looking for, and you know and I mean, I'm not gonna lie, there has been instances where there is, you know, that similar vehicle, and it just so happens to work out, but that's just a 1 in a million opportunity that you get there.
Yeah.
Let me ask you one last question, and we're closing with this one. What is gonna be a tip for a new salesperson when going into the auto industry? What is the best tip that you can give to a new salesperson?
I would just say stay positive, because there's a lot of days that you just feel like it's not going to work out. I'm not making any money. I'm just sitting here waiting for somebody to come in and hopefully buy. Obviously, I guess at that point, or at those stages, you kind of just feel like it's just a 1 in a million opportunity that somebody's going to walk in and actually want to buy. Because I used to think about it all the time before I actually started working here. I used to think, oh, at a dealership, I just think, oh, what if nobody wants to buy? I mean, like, what if that whole month there's just nobody that wants to buy? And obviously that's just not the case. Somebody's always going to be looking for a vehicle, and especially here in the USA, you know, everybody, I mean, without a vehicle, you're not doing anything.
Yeah, totally.
You know, you just can't get around like that. So I would say just staying positive and believing that somebody's, you know, maybe not somebody's going to walk in, but eventually somebody's going to come in and just say, hey, or things are just going to work out for you. So just staying positive and believing in yourself.
Perfect. So do you wanna share your social media if anyone wants to follow you?
How can somebody follow you or buy a vehicle from you?
Yeah, I mean, you could definitely follow me at Omar, 6.7 liter. Yeah, Omar 6.7 liter. Yeah.
On Instagram, right?
On Instagram, yeah.
Okay, what if they want to buy a vehicle from you? How can they hit you up?
678-438-9652.
Get it. That information is gonna be down here. Let me tell you, Omar is one thing that I like about Omar is that he's very fluent in Spanish, and of course he's very fluent in English. So it's gonna help a lot of people, different markets, and more than that, he's always gonna be exceeding the expectations for their customers.
One thing I like about Omar, he's going to be super chill. He's never going to try to pressure you into something. Like, if you want help, he's going to offer it to you. And if it's just not for you, he's still going to welcome you into our home, give you the best service possible, and let you be on your way. I think
exactly.
If you want to buy a vehicle, definitely hit up Omar. Omar, I appreciate you being on MotorCast, baby, and being a part of the team.
So, wait. So, he's not going to give me a handshake? I'm so offended,
He just left him hanging like crazy.
I didn't see. I was
just kidding, bro.
It was frozen there.
Don't cut it, Kenneth. Don't cut it. That's part of the show. As always, you can follow us on social media. You can find us as Motorvation Trucks. It's going to be YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, Facebook. And that's it. And also, you're going to get us on Spotify. You're going to find us as MotorCast. Thank you for tuning in. And again, thank you, Omar.
Hasta la vista, baby.
Don't leave me hanging this time, bro.
Stuff, y'all. Good job.